Hi, this is Anna von Reitz webinar, April 4th, 2022. There is a new article that was released today, 3604, Fight for the Fragments. We are the only true game in town. All others have no legitimate claims. And we're going to go into talking about this now. It's been a very busy week. Latest news, several attempts to steal our money. Filipinos related to the Italian mafia or the mob. Alec Kalong. This is his fourth time dealing with Anna. He's been on a known fraud list for 40 years. He is no relation to Ferdinand Marco, but he calls himself a Marcos, and even if he was related to Ferdinand Marcos, he still wouldn't have any claim on our money. Our brilliant generals and the generals of the UN have decided to approve him play acting a 7-star UN general who had claim to our money. He is a secretary governor general with special access to our trust. That didn't go over very well with Anna, and we'll address it in a few minutes. The UN tried to steal the Marshall Plan funding and the European Economic Recovery Fund returns owed to Americans. Now we have to re-educate a whole new generation of our military in who really has access and control of our money. The Marshall Plan was to rebuild 17 European countries after World War II, plus their defense cost. This money comes back to Americans. I was not pleased with our generals in our military and the UN. I have been chewing them out since 6 a.m. I have sent notice to 206 government agencies to notify our standing and claim all our assets. We have so many assets, but it is the principle of people taking advantage of Americans and their assets. We have more gold than any other country, and we have more oil than Saudi Arabia. They did find out that aliens were mining quartz crystals, and around quartz crystals there's a lot of gold left behind. That, however, was not an issue to them. We did lay claim to that gold. OPEC has been notified to play nice because we are truly oil independent. No more playing games. There is no such thing as a 7-star Secretary General in the UN, and there is no longer assuming that we are missing in action and have abandoned our assets. People are quitting the assembly. New subject. People are quitting the assembly to join other associations like the Reign of the Heavens Association, Life Force International, or the National Assembly. Some have notice in parse syntax. Big mistake. We are the only government entity that has standing and right to claim American assets. It's your choice. You will lose and give up your lawful status pursuing these organizations. David Strait, his organization, will link you to all the debt remaining for the U.S. corporation. He's going back, trying to establish a different way of going through the corporation. And so when you go through his organization and way of doing things, David Strait, he will hook you up with the debt for the U.S. corporation, and you can be responsible for that debt. You won't get any of your own money, but you will get the debt from the U.S. corporation. Some are learning parse syntax. You're buying into a fraud scheme. Using this identifies you as a slave. There is a book out called Justinian Deception by Romilly Stewart. He identifies the fraud for 1,500 years ago and how they plan to use it again. And they used it on us 1,500 years later. All these organizations are offering different ways to recontract to the U.S. Corporation and have no access to American rights or assets. They are dishonest, criminally neglectful, and trying to steal our money and land. We don't need them. We can speak for ourselves. Excuse me. We are in the House, managing our own affairs. We no longer need representatives to speak or act for American people. I have a little note on this side. All of these institutes claim that they have a contract to provide services, and at this time, nobody has a contract anymore. They are all in line to take over the fraudulent scheme the U.S. corporation started. We no longer need your services. We are the employers, not your competitors. The Continental Congress will eventually deliberate if we need foreign government running our country, giving services. I believe they, the foreign entities, no longer deserve renewing their contract. Their contract is now done with. Because of abuse, mismanagement, and 2 identical offices for every office. One to actually do the work, one to actually just take credit for it. And that was just a way to spend our money and get more people involved and get more fraud included. Currently, there is no contract. The only service they provide that is acceptable is the Postal Service. If people want to join these groups, let them. We have given them facts and standing, claims filed on their behalf. They are willingly giving up their standing and claim. If they read and research the assembly site, they would know we are the only true claimants. Keep your focus, be positive, and know your status and standing. Nationalization. This is where we had to protect our interests from claims from other countries. And what it was that all of the corporations that the U.S. corporation created, they were all nationalized so that we would be protected from claims from other countries and other entities saying that they had a piece of the U.S. corporation and were due money. So all of the corporations in the United States that was created by the U.S. corporation were nationalized. All right, so reporting a new subject, 1993. This is about Ukraine. The reporting on the Ukraine is totally dishonest to the point of being sickening. In 1993, Ukraine became an independent government, full permission from Russia, with terms that if Ukraine maintained a stable government, that they would be allowed to operate as an independent state. Well, during the Obama-Biden administration, they killed the Ukrainian government and replaced them with a puppet government. CIA ran the whole program. The UN and the CIA set up more than a dozen bioweapon companies. These have been outlawed for decades in every country. They threatened Russia because of the stipulation that Ukraine had to have a stable government. Putin went into Ukraine to clean up bioweapon factories. The Russians have protected us from Britain several times. Russia is our friends. Since 1858, the Russian-American alliance, they have never broken our alliance, and neither will the Americans. No more fake wars. Biden is now calling for war with Russia. All Americans, American money and assets, equipment will not be in any more fake wars. We will not be involved in a war against Russia. No war to just cover deep state debt and criminality. The U.S. corporation is and has been bankrupted, no longer exists, disrespecting and conspiracy against the Constitution. They are stateless and a fiction. In Ukraine, all the casualties caused by CIA, UN, and the Ukraine military. No more using our money, our equipment, or our people. All need a pink slip. They no longer are representing Americans. CIA and DIA, the Ukraine government, assassinated. They are responsible for the installment of the puppet government. They have no right or reason to even exist, the U.S. corporation. Now, the agencies that need the pink slips are the Pentagon, the CIA, DARPA, DIA, about 24 intelligence agencies, the DHS. This should motivate you to get off the couch and govern. These people have been controlling our government. A bunch of idiot pukes I have ever dealt with. Evil, scheming for profit regardless of the effect on people, all supporting the British Crown. The Lord Mayor has disappeared. We believe that he is in China. Hope they take good care of him. I believe China and Russia has figured out the truth and fraud perpetrated by the Lord Mayor and his minions, both taking appropriate actions. At least 3 superpowers know what's going on. There's several European countries, though, that are still going along with the fraud. Italy is reviewing the Lantern Treaty from 1929. Mussolini signed. This created the Vatican city-state, making an independent country. They are considering recall because of all the documented criminality. The church does not deserve to represent the people. Very hard to change, though, because of religious indoctrination, punishment for going against the church. Because it has to do with the church, it needs to go before an ecumenical court or council. This is for ecclesiastical law. They can either review this by 2 ways. The church could actually just self-aware, repent, and then change behaviors. But if they don't do that, and of course I don't believe that they will, another Christian organization has to bring it up under forum and then go to the ecumenical council, which then it will be put through ecclesiastical law and dealt with. The church will never confess. Individual Christians will, but the church is stubborn and inflexible. Eastern Orthodox recognizes the Vatican's criminality and has voiced and put their opinion in print. I think we should notify Serco that they are no longer paymaster, then hire a new paymaster, then go to the military and review all offices one by one, release all who are not loyal to American people. We have the proofs of colluding and conspiracy from 160 years back. It's time for performance review and pink slips to whom does not support the American Republic. There has been no consequences for all their deceit, lies, collusion, and conspiracy to cheat and defraud the American people. Time to get real and serve those pink slips. All second offices initiated by the subcontractor are illegal and really doesn't exist. They have no authority to hire someone to do their job. Even if the corporation the bankruptcy does not protect them. The principal is still responsible. So like for the territorial government or the U.S. corporation, well, the U.S. corporation is not responsible, but who is in charge of that? The principal, which would be the Queen and the Pope for the municipal. They are responsible, and we are putting forth claim of the principal and their assets. Americans are good people who act honorably. These persons do not act as Americans. There is no district government, no municipal government. Pretty much they have whittled it down in Washington, D.C. Virginia reclaimed their land masses back. The territorial government must operate between the 4 cornerstones, which is approximately 10 square miles of D.C. Maryland is in the process of reclaiming their land. they can reclaim because the territorial government is not being used as it was indicated. It's not a functional government right now. Warrants for arrest. They're not actually warrants for arrest. They're impound orders. Actually, a warrant at sea, no authority on land. They are impound orders by a British clerk arresting cargo and redirecting it. Only true warrants are from our government. Bar attorneys, which they work for the British Merchant Marines, they're basically just clerks, tariff clerks. This was documented in the British Merchant Marine Guide in 1901. It's documented in their material. All persons in jails in incorporated counties are cargo warehouses. Inmates are cargo with a cargo number, inventory number. Here's some good news. New topic. Banks are liquid and moving. We are in queue to be processed. Other countries were put before us because we had to present our case that we make claim of our standing and our status. Remember, they said that we were lost at sea and that we had to, we gave up our claim to all our assets because we abandoned them. They assumed that. Yeah, that's not true. We're here. We're here now. All right, so as of April 1st, SIA is asking for, please, a sum total to Anna directly for a lump sum on what you need to pay off your SIA. That would come from each state, and we just need one lump sum number. That's it. The vendor cards, we are number 3 in line for them to be made, and they are producing number 2's production now. Soon, Americans will apply, and what that means is that it will have your personal information on it. The Blue Dot system, every state has an account established. 2 deposits are pending. The SIA program debts, and then the assembly setup money. The coordinator approves the payment, the treasurer writes the check, and if you have a secretary, that she mails them out. If you don't have a secretary, you need to find one soon. Keep meeting minutes, keep roll call, minutes agenda, paperwork for the assembly, etc. Hire when funded. Keeping good records provides documentation for new generations to follow. Big reason for our system being undermined in the first place. Infiltration. If you don't know the signs, you are not aware of it happening. Continue to review signs so that it will be identifiable to all people. Back to SIA. The class, 7,000 people, have qualified to date. You must qualify for this class to apply for the vendor card. You must claim your status and be papered up. Monday, this coming Monday, vendor demo with the banker. Federation class this week to train for vendor cards and the Cash App. Cash App is created already and training has started. SIA coordinator program training, 2 hours, being planned, not difficult, common sense. Blue Dot accounts. The Blue Dot accounts is to access your national credit. Assembly should start their own credit union. Member-oriented and service-oriented. Open your own accounts in your own bank. No chance of confiscation. Bankers here for a week and a half. So much more info next week. She's spending the week and a half with the bankers this week. Federal Reserve notes. They're going to be traded in for silver certificates, which can be cashed for coinage. The prepaid credit, it's a separate system accessed through the Blue Dot banking accounts. It'll cover things like college fees, all your monthly bills, like buying a new car every 2 years. This is just an example that I don't think that they actually have all of the rules fine-tuned. Medical bills, things like that. Provide security for things that previously you had to work for. New topic. Need to retain the ability to think for yourselves and not put stock into people's opinions. Follow your discernment, because what you think causes decisions of your actions. Research, know facts, keep your own mind, and do not allow distractions and lies to lead your course of action. Focus on your wants and needs. How can we make a better world? Progress. Create our assembly. Don't be distracted with propaganda, lies, and fraud schemes. Go to your happy place. Shame the devil. Knowing we are happy drives them crazy. Donations. As of this week, yes, please. I still need donations. As of next week, no, hopefully. We are making great progress and money is flowing by next week. God is good. I am grateful for all donations received. Thank God for our American family and the assemblies. We need to make our 4 pillars. Then we will have the strength to operate our states and perform our reconstruction and the state-of-state supervision of running day-to-day government operations. No need for taxes ever again. Slush funds that the deep state created will be used to pay for all governmental services. Sales tax, no sales tax, no taxes, period. We have so much money, it will never be necessary to pay taxes again. Trillions upon trillions upon trillions. In 1947, this is how the deep state really got one over on us. They put 2 income streams. One was budgeted, and that's where the attention was for the public. And then the unbudgeted, which was unknown by the public. This came from Al Capone's accountant, and the government adopted his methodology of doing accounting. And that's where they got that from. And so from then to now, they have been deceiving us for everything they have spent with 2 budgets and basically just doing whatever they wanted. Remember that legislature is for corporations and its citizenry only. It does not affect us. The profits and the money of this world will now benefit the people of this world instead of going into fraudsters' pockets. In 1135, the Inquisition, they went out to collect Peter's pence. This was a tax on serfs and indentured servants. It was to pay off the Crusades. So, when was it collected? April 15th. Well, they kept that, April 15th, and all of your income taxes pays off their war debts. I love you all. Every person is precious. All Americans are precious. You are what makes it worthwhile. All this fight, you make the fight worthwhile. Honestly, truth and goodwill. We are here for you. Living well is the best revenge. Good night and God bless.